Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Now, this is a random video. Perhaps you could call it a vlog, perhaps not. Part of me would call it a vlog, but I believe vlogs, in the current definition anyway, have a certain, a certain series of, I don't know if I would call it qualifications, but just a certain style of cinematography that this video does not have. Vlogs, I feel, are far more professionally done nowadays. This is not. But nonetheless, it's just a random video. I took lots of clips and pictures that I'll be showing you just about what I did over this weekend, and it's like story time review, bro. So settle in, grab the popcorn, grab the Monster energy drink or the Starbucks or water or nothing. If that's the way you want to go, and settle in for some story time fun. Now, just on one serious note, to just get this off the table and then get on with the good stuff, if you listen into the VORW radio broadcast, I say this with the utmost sincerity, and it's something that I wish I don't even have to say. If you're able to support this broadcast, help it stay on the air for the month of August. I need your help. I sincerely do. It's not going to be able to stay on the air for August without it. It's just been a tough month for it. Helps out so many people all over the world who listen in and really are so positively affected by it, but they themselves can't support it. I just need your help to keep the airtime going and just keep this show going. Please support it via PayPal to vorwinfo@gmail.com. That's PayPal, vorwinfo@gmail.com. I hate passing the hat around, but it needs your help. Well, anyway, with that out of the way, let's get on to the good stuff. So we begin our amazing journey in a state of complete shock and bewilderment. Review bra, going to NASCAR. What is he smoking? Well, I'm not actually smoking anything, but, tomato. I have actually been a NASCAR fan for probably the last 12 or so years, I would wager. So I go back with that, and it had been a yearly tradition, again, for probably the last 12 years, to go out to Pocono, Pennsylvania, to the NASCAR race there, and just, see a NASCAR race firsthand. Now, I'm not going to say I'm the most fervent NASCAR fan in the world, because I'm not. I'm going to say that outright. I don't know everything about the sport, nor do I know everything about the participants, but I have fun watching it. To me, it's enjoyable, and I think it's just an experience, and it's something that's fun to do once a year. It's a yearly thing, and that's where it stands. We begin our story not at the racetrack. No, my friends. We go to a place called Mount Airy Casino Resort. Now, you may be saying, well, why are you going there, Review Bra? Well, the reason is simple. Number one, sustenance, and number two, a place to sleep. That's why they call it a resort. It's a place where you can lay down and go to sleep there. And it's a nice hotel too. I was there in the past, and it's got a good reputation. Well, anyway, I went there. I went to the restaurant that's inside the casino. And I'd recommend you at least be 21 if you go there, because otherwise you'll get hassled, with ID and everything. So just make things a lot easier, and you can just, go freely and do whatever you want then. But it's called Bistecca. And it's good. It's like an Italian restaurant, but it has some really good steaks. I recommend that. I personally, though, I didn't go with the blessed steaks. Instead, I actually went, I lowered myself to go with the burger there, but it was a very good burger. So we'll give that one a pass. I'll give it a pass. Maybe you won't, but I will. And, if you want to grab the torches, because I didn't get the steak, well, so that's the life that you want to live. I'm hands off. You can do what you want to do. But it was a good burger, so just take that into account first. And it had bacon on it, and the fries were good. There's a picture of the fries. They're actually called truffle fries. And they were just really, really good. I mean, I just really enjoyed them. It was good quality. It's not the cheapest restaurant in the world, but I do firmly believe that it was an instance of getting what you pay for. If you get what you pay for, then perhaps it is indeed worth it. But keep that in mind. The hotel room was good. I can't really complain. Hotel rooms are what they are. And there's a certain hierarchy of hotel rooms. To me, as long as the hotel room is clean, and there aren't any dirty needles hidden behind the bathroom mirror, and there's no obvious blood stains or other stains on anything that I can see, I'll likely crash out there for the night. But this is a very well kept hotel room. It was nice. The bed was comfortable. Though the one thing with the bed, it's got like those really squishy pillows that like it feels like it sink into. I always like a firmer pillow, if you ask me. So that's I like the contour pillows. These, it's quicksand, and I'm just being devoured by the bed while I'm trying to lay down. But whatever. It was for one night, and it was all right. Now, keeping that into consideration, however, there was one thing that was a little bit of an issue there, and I think I summarized it best myself. You know what my favorite thing is? You ever find yourself in a hotel room and you sit there and you wonder, I wish my hotel room had a sick audio system that just played, bass thumping music all night long. I got a solution for you. It's 12:30 right now, and we got it. Right out the window there. Yes. Yes, the pool, which happened to be across from there, was having one kickin' party for some reason. You could make up the occasion. We're just going with it. We're just going in storytelling mode. Maybe it could be like Review Bra Mad Libs. So you could make up what the party was for. Maybe they were throwing a party for you. Maybe you didn't even know it, but they were celebrating you. That's what we'll say. They were throwing you a party, whether you were there or not. That's what it was for. But they were blasting loud music until 2 a.m. And I mean, you know how it is. Like if someone has a really loud bass system in their car, they're parked outside your house or your apartment, or one of your neighbors is throwing a party and they got the music. It's just, it's thumping. It's like boom, boom, and it's just going crazy like that. It was like that late into the night, so I didn't get a lot of sleep. The good thing though, the casino did have a Starbucks in it, so when I had to wake up early the next day so I could get to the racetrack, at least I had the coffee there to give me the power to make it to the destination upon which I needed to get to. All right, so we made it through the hotel and the casino and the celebrations and the burger controversy, the burger fiasco, and all points in between. And we move to the racetrack now. And the hotel, the whole experience there was good. I think if you really look at anything, you could pick it apart and you can dissect it. And you will always find things that you didn't like, or if that's even too strong, things that you wish could have been improved in one way or another. Always. So that's just how it is. But I enjoyed it overall, and that's what's important. Good hotel. I enjoyed it. There was a funny moment there. I'll tell it. Why not? There was a funny moment where outside the hotel room there in the hallway, there was some drunk guy banging around in there, and he got to his hotel room door. And I mean, it was so loud. I think he was in the room next to the one I was in, and I could hear him just slamming the hotel room, the door from the hallway with his full body weight. Like he's just trying to smash the door in. And at first I was a little alarmed. I didn't know if there was he was trying to get in very forcefully, if he was perhaps unwanted, if there was a fight or whatever. But then it just turned out that he was so drunk that he forgot that you needed to use the little electronic card to get into the hotel room. He thought that if he just used his brute force, he would be able to get into the door that way. So after a good number of expletives, which I'm not going to repeat here, he eventually realized that he has to use the key, which he had on him the whole time, to get into the door. All right, we're past the hotel and the casino, and we're at the racetrack now. And NASCAR is a mystical place of fun and wonderment. and you see all sorts of things there. Uh, you see everything. Some things you wish you didn't have to see. There's the lizard god, kind of throwing some offerings to the crowds who have gathered to see him. So there's that. But you could walk around there outside of the actual stadium itself. They have this, I call it the fanfare, where they have all these little booths set up, and you could walk around. You can buy your T-shirt, your baseball cap. You can go and whatever, buy a little radio scanner so you can hear the drivers and the pit crews and everything talking to each other. Some little places where you can whatever buy some drinks, some samples. Spend, I should say, waste your money on something that you think you're actually going to use, but it turns out you're never going to use it. But they just had a good salesman and they suckered you in. But oh well, we'll forget that one. So once you make it through there, and by then they've already scanned your ticket and they've already done the bag check, so you've already gone through security. No full body scanners there. You get to the seats. Now, it's not like this is in any particular order. This is merely the way I did it. It's not like they're going to force you to do one thing or else. You don't even have to do this if you don't want to. You could just sit there in the parking lot all day, or you can go straight to the seats. You could do it in any particular order that you'd like, I suppose. And you get to the seats, and it's in these huge. I wouldn't even call them bleachers. They're grandstands, really. They're massive, and I'll show you a picture of them in a little bit. But I think you can see, by the view that's up there, there is certainly quite the space that you can see from there. And it gives you almost like a little perspective of how massive this racetrack is, how many people it can fit, I suppose, how many people are there, and just a perspective of the size of it all. You could easily get lost there. And if there is one complaint I do have to say, it's that the staff that were there, all due respect, I should say, they were having a little bit of an issue, I suppose, trying to direct people where to seat. It seems like they just really weren't versed very well in terms of the actual seat numbers and sections, and they were just kind of pointing people wherever. And I saw countless times they were just ushering people to the wrong seats, and then someone who was actually supposed to be sitting there would show up, and then there'd be confusion, and I saw that happen so many times. I just wish some of the employees there were perhaps better versed in what they were to be doing. Well, nonetheless, got the seats there, you got the view, was just looking around. The race still had yet to start. I was there a few hours early, and then I got hungry, so I went and I got some chicken strips. And the food there is all right. Don't expect any healthy options or alternatives, I'm afraid. I got the chicken strips. There's my Instagram food blog photo for it, and they were good. I enjoyed them. And I was kind of just hanging out underneath the grandstands there. That's what a lot of people were really doing, because I just wanted to stay in the shade. So that's what I was doing. But those pictures give a good representation of how big I feel that these grandstands really were. They were towering. You certainly get a good workout going, up and down them. And of course, if you do have disability, you just can't make the climb, whatever it is, they do have elevator that does go up and down and can get you still to your destination. And the race itself is, I find it interesting. I think it's fun. I think it's enjoyable. It's an experience. The one thing that you will never be prepared for, though, unless you've actually been there, is truly how loud those race cars are. Because no doubt they are incredibly, incredibly loud. And, they are thunderous. I would highly recommend getting some earplugs just in case. But trust me, the television cameras, nothing does it any justice until you actually see it. They're incredibly loud. The race itself can, it all depends on how much you like the sport itself. If you really follow it close, you might be on your edge of your seat the entire time. If you don't so much, you might just be looking forward to the accidents, which do happen. but granted, it's not continuous action in that regard, and there's really no control over when or if they will happen. Of course, if you don't care at all, and I've seen some people there that didn't, then it might be boring. It might be a snooze fest. I actually saw, despite these extremely loud cars going by, there was some guy who was actually sitting there sleeping, so it's entirely possible. What I do see, some strategies that people use to make it really exciting. I see some people, they'll just pound down beer after beer after beer, so then no matter what happens, it's going to be a thriller. Nonetheless, I've seen that so many times. I wouldn't advocate that. I believe in drinking responsibly, but it's just what I've seen. But just make of it what you will. If it's something that you're interested in, yeah, take a look, check it out. But no matter what, I thought it was enjoyable. It's something that I do once a year, perhaps, and I just enjoyed it. That's all that I have for you. This is just a little random miscellaneous video. Again, not a review or anything, but just merely sharing my thoughts and experience, and hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. That's all. Thank you and take care.